originally just the three of us. We didn't have plans for Joel to come up and introduce what's going on today. So do I have to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is our weekly meeting of SL Circle. We call this the Lunch and Learn or Open Circles. It's a different topic every week. So we've had meetings where we talk about real estate, development, acquisition, flipping houses. We've had meetings where we talk about web development or social media, really just the gamut. So today, we didn't have any formal presentation lined up, and Joel called me and asked me if there's something I could talk about. And what I wanted to talk about was this concept of building the community in Salt Lake City. Okay? It's a business community. It's very much a tech community. And so there's some elements that we're pulling together, kind of like what you're talking about just a minute ago, but some really big high-end projects for this particular city, which we think are pretty important. And it's worth, I think, getting the feedback and discussion from all the different people who could be involved in what we're talking about. So I'm not interested in just doing all the talking here today. I'd like to get your input and feedback as well, but I'll let you know a little bit about what's going on in Salt Lake. So the first thing I put up on the screen is a picture of a place. And it's not a place you'd recognize because it hasn't been built yet, but it is in Salt Lake City. If you look down the side here, that is I-15, okay? So you're along the I-15 corridor. This is the 900 South off ramp. Everybody know where that is? So we're over on the west side of Salt Lake. We're just north of 900 South. This is actually 900 South right here, 800 South. And this would be 300 West, 400 West, 500 West. Over on the side there is where Front Runner goes under the freeway, goes from the east side of the freeway to the west side of the freeway. And there's about 85 acres here that's really in a position to be developed, including some of the land that's owned by Salt Lake City. And they've asked us to keep working on this proposal to take the city block that they own and build an innovation center on it. And the idea that Salt Lake City has is if they can build an innovation district, they can attract more tech companies and more tech talent to come and live in Salt Lake, work in Salt Lake. And as we've talked to them about that, we've pointed out a number of problems with their plan. And the biggest problem is we already have tech companies here that are feeling a real tech shortage. There's a lot of people, or there's a lot of companies that are saying, we need to hire a dozen people to come to work for us. And when they look in Salt Lake for those people, they're not there. There's just not enough talent here. In fact, when we talked to Google about possibly having a location in the Innovation District, they said we would never move any of our headquarters or campuses to Salt Lake City because you just don't produce enough engineers. We wouldn't be able to get enough employees. And so the solution really to the problem of not enough talent in Salt Lake is to attract the talent here or to connect with talent somehow. And one of the things that Salt Lake City needs to do to attract talent is to create places where talent wants to live. And so the design here, I'll just mention it really quickly and then we'll take the slide down and just talk about a very different topic. The design here, you can see there's a lot of open space. There is, the city blocks have been broken up. Instead of being 10-acre blocks, they're now designed more like 2.5 acre.
A quick observation. The open space is also built on top of parking structures and data centers. So sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Yeah, so for example, next to the freeway, what we are envisioning is that's where you put the parking. It's a good buffer between the freeway and the buildings. Put about 6 stories of parking there, and then you can have a 10, 12-story building on the other side. It still looks like a 6-story building, but you fill that up with office workers. According to our architects, those 4 buildings right there would have 1 million square feet if they were 6 stories tall. And obviously plenty of parking by the needs of that particular area. So it's a way of disguising the parking and making it a more vibrant neighborhood at the same time. Anyway, you don't see it on this particular rendering, but there's some other coded slides where actually I can look down and just let you take a look at them. You can see kind of color coded housing elements are yellow, blue is office space, orange, especially on the first couple floors of all these buildings, you can see that's retail space. So a lot of thought's been put in by the designers in terms of how do we create, a more vibrant city in Salt Lake. In fact, some of these slides are specifically about vibrant cities and what they have that attracts people. So vibrant cities have, different modes of transportation. They've got, we have light rail currently, but Salt Lake City's planning a streetcar system. We need more walkable neighborhoods, bikeable neighborhoods. That's one of the concepts. They talked about vibrant cities have a range of housing options. So putting in, townhomes are one option. Buildings like this are another. Vibrant cities have, a mix of retail and shopping, things that people need that live there. And that's some pictures of some office space. The vibrant cities one of the things they're saying is they have a lot of jobs per square foot. A lot of density as far as that goes, because that promotes collaboration and things. Then they have a lot of wellness elements, places where people can recreate, live a healthy lifestyle. That's one of the things that would attract people to come to Salt Lake City.